What's up? Welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a review of Kaytranada's fourth album, Ain't No Damn Way. I'm getting to this a little bit late. This came out on August 15th. And, Kaytranada back again pretty soon. His last album, Timeless, came out last year, and that was a very different album from what Ain't No Damn Way is. In fact, Timeless had tons of features, had a lot to it. It was an album that I was pretty up and down on overall. Ain't No Damn Way is kind of the polar opposite in any respect. This is the first Kaytranada album that doesn't have any original guest features on it. It's a largely instrumental album. And I think that speaks to his confidence coming into his sound. Of course, being a really, I think, intriguing and celebrated electronic music artist for, God, what is it, like 12 years at this point? The internet fame started in the early 2010s. Kaytranada has really reached the pinnacle now where he is I think, really respected figure and original voice still, in the scene. And he doesn't make like the most commercial music. I very much think about him in terms of where he stands, in terms of like critical reception and just general thinking about electronic music. I put Kaytranada next to like Jamie XX and Fred again. Like I think you talk about the people you're most excited about. He's one of those guys. Kaytranada's fourth album, Ain't No Damn Way, being largely instrumental, having no original guest features, it's definitely nice to hear something that's a bit smoother, a bit more straightforward than his last project. While the album is largely quite lively in tempo the entire time, I do find it a bit lower stakes overall, but it's still very enjoyable. These are just kind of simpler songs, at least on their surface for Kaytranada standards. That being said, there's still a lot of depth, a lot of layering to his production, to his styling. I think the percussion that you hear across Ain't No Damn Way is probably the most appealing aspect of all of these beats. I get a vaguely science fiction vibe from these songs as well, which is super cool. Kaytranada himself said this album is strictly for workouts, dancing, and for studying for people that love beats. I think that's honestly kind of aptly put. Like, this is, I think, just fun vibes, and when it's Kaytranada dictating what those vibes are, there's still a lot to really recommend and drill down and listen to. My favorite song on Ain't No Damn Way is actually track 1, Space Invader, which has this nice Kellis sample, Easy Come, Easy Go. I think the song has a super cool groove, really like that drum rhythm. Subtle vocals here and there, then about a minute in, there's a little bit of a switch up. Those vocals become more pronounced, and then the song kind of drops a bit more bass drum as you return back to the original loop. Cool song. I think overall you're gonna kind of be in the same range on a lot of these songs where the core loop of the track is largely consistent throughout most of the songs. There's not any crazy swings on this project. Championship is in kind of a similar range as Space Invader, just a bit subtler. Home, this one actually kind of starts out with some dull synths for me, honestly, but then you get a lot of percussion, which I think really livens it up. Target Joint, kind of a bit of a swing vibe to it. Things is a highlight for me. The beats are definitely more glitchy in terms of how it feels. Can be a bit grating, I guess, but it definitely stood out to me as something that was a lot different from the rest of the project. Backstab's definitely a downshift here, but some cool percussion going on once again. I think Good Luck, this one's just fine, probably my least favorite of everything here. Shine Your Light for me, really propulsive tempo. I think that one's pretty cool. Goodbye Bitch, snaps, horns, really nice. And then the last track, Do It Again, featuring TLC via a Let's Do It Again TLC sample, of course. Very cool, very nice use of the sample and those TLC vocals specifically. I think the strings here are very serene. And yeah, I think this is definitely something that's a lot easier to just kind of put on, as Kaytranada said, his intentions for it. It's a lot different than Timeless. I think Timeless just had a lot of guests that kind of made or broke a lot of the songs. I felt that way about Kaytranada's collab album with Amine, where I thought Kaytranada's production was largely pretty good on Kaytranada, but I didn't love a lot of the Amine features. That's coming from an Amine fan, and that's kind of where the album landed for me. So Kaytranada eliminating features from this and just having some samples still around seemed to work out, because then he actually gets to be the star of the music. So yeah, shout out Kaytranada. Fourth album, Ain't No Damn Way, pretty good. Let me know how you felt about it, and for more music reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.